I gave myself a panic attack looking up stuff for this case because I'm a dumbass and people told me, oh, Isabella, don't look up the transcripts, don't look up the audio. And of course, I'm gonna look up the transcripts. I'm gonna look up the audio stuff that happened during this case because I'm a dumbass. Because that's what dumbasses do. And so I looked, I looked it up and I got 2 minutes into these audio files and I was all like, fuck. Like, I've been shaking for the past hour. Like, that's how bad it is. So when I say don't look up the audio, which you will because we're all dumbasses here, don't say I didn't warn you. Like, seriously. So you might be asking yourself, Isabella, like, what's the case? This can't be that bad. Like, you're being an overdramatic bitch, like you always are. Oh my god. We're gonna be talking about the case of Annaliese Michel. Yeah. I'm not peppy. I'm seriously just so freaked out, okay? Like, it's just, okay. The reason why this case freaks me out so much is because, like, Annaliese Michel was actually a very devout and like very like like Catholic woman. Like she was very religious. Like she grew up in a very strict Catholic household. Like so, it's just I've grown up with a sentiment that like if you have God in your life, like demonic shit can't touch you. Like that's how it works. I'm talking very quietly because I don't want people to hear me making this video. And that's just like, what I've been told. And like, it didn't help her in this case. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of did because, you'll find out later on. But at the same time, like, this still happened to her. And like, I don't know why. I'm not saying that like light won't win in the end. Like, I believe that like if you're like full of love and you're full of light and you don't attract negative energy, like bad stuff won't happen to you. But like, this wasn't the case. Like, Annaliese was a very kind and like a very like gentle person, and she was really religious, and she had like a good relationship with her family and with her like boyfriend Peter, who like stayed with her until she died, which is a lot. Like that's the real like MVP. He was a real one, bitch. So like it's just really crazy to me, and that's what freaks me out the most because if love and stuff like that can't protect you, what will? Like God, literally God. So, let's get into this. Also, I'm not sitting on that. You don't care that I'm not sitting on the chair, but like, I just feel like you should know that there was a huge motherfucking brown recluse in that chair. So. Satan's in my house. Story time. I'm a vlogger. I'm Tana Mongoose now. My mom is yelling about. Side note, if you hear someone yelling in the background, it's my mom being very white, yelling about a person parking in our driveway. I've never understood that. I don't understand why people get angry about people like backing up into your driveway and like to turn around, like. She's heated, guys. White suburban mom wars. So it all started when Annaliese was 16, and she was a very healthy girl like up until like this happened, like, and still it was like something that just happened and they blamed it like on epilepsy. Like she had a seizure like during like when she was in her like, can I speak? She was 16. She had a seizure. They took her to the doctor, and the doctors were all like, "Oh yeah, like they diagnosed her with epilepsy. Like it wasn't like a very uncommon thing. They gave her medicine. They treated her for it, and like a few weeks later, she was out of the hospital and she was fine. And nothing else happened. She went back to like her normal life. Everything was fine. I'm genuinely. I just thought about my closet door. And I'm kind of scared to be sitting in front of it talking about this type of stuff. But I'm not going to move because... Anyway. So, yeah, she had a seizure. and nothing happened. Everything went back to normal. And until she, like, I think the end of her senior year, things started getting weird again. And it started with, like, she started, like, not having an appetite. She was having onsets of, like, depression and, like, suicidal thoughts, which she had never had before. And everything started getting very dark for her. Like, you know, like, her health started deteriorating. She couldn't walk on her own. That's how it got. Like, she wasn't eating to the point, like, where she was so weak she couldn't walk on her own. Like, when she was walking places, she'd have to hold herself up with things. Like, that's how bad it was. So, you know, obviously her parents were, like, taking her to doctors and being all like, hey, you know, what's wrong with our kid? And the doctors were all like, well, I don't know. But they didn't think it was actually anything demonic until, like, one night they were at dinner, and Annalise's mother happened to look over, and she said that she saw her daughter's hands, and they were twice their size. Like, they looked like monster hands, basically, is what I'm saying. And so, obviously, the mother was all like, yo, Annalise, your hands, like, what's going on? And Annalise looks down at her hands, and she looks at her mother, and she goes, I have black hands, forgive me, Savior. If I heard that, I'd be all like, bye, gotta go. You can't make this shit up, bitch. So after that, Annalise started seeing, you know, like, demons in the walls. Like, she'd say she'd see demons in the walls, and she'd say that, like, they had 7 crowns and, like, 7 horns, and, like, she'd see them everywhere, and she was having night terrors, and she wasn't eating, she was starving, and, like, bruises would appear on her body, and I feel like there's a spider crawling on me, oh god. Bruises would appear on her body, and, like, she could cut up, she, like, would fall down, which I'll get into that. She'd fall down, and she'd, like, get her teeth broken. Like, by the time she died, all of her teeth were broken. Like, literally. Like, she was saying that she was so uncomfortable. Like, she could not find any comfort in anything, that for 3 years before she died, she slept on the stone cold floor of their house. Like, so, I'm trying to remember what else happens in this story. Ooh, brain, give me a minute. So, she would pray, you know, because she was religious, which is, like, the scariest thing about this case, because she was very religious, and it's just crazy that this would happen to her. So she'd pray, and she'd say Hail Marys, and every time she would, like, do that, she would get thrown to the ground in, like, a way that no human could, like, you know, throw themselves to the ground, like, physically. Like, it looked like something was, like, forcefully, like, an outside force was just going, like, shoving her. And she'd fall to the ground, and she'd hit her face, and, like, she'd get bruises, and she'd break her bones. Like, that's the amount of force that was put into, like, this. And she was really fragile because, you know, she wasn't eating. So, you know, it's not hard to, like, you know, break her. I just heard something move, but it's my neighbors. Okay. So she would put pillows down whenever she'd pray, because she knew, like, this was happening to her, and, like, she didn't want to get, like, you know, broken bones. So she'd put pillows down, and she'd, like, say her prayers. But it got to the point where when she did this, it was as if the devil was mocking her, and it'd throw her down just slightly off from where the pillow was. So she just fall right beside it and just hit her face and, like, get hurt still. And so all of this was happening, and her mother was finally all like, okay, this is something demonic. We need to call in. Like, and this entire time, Annalise was saying, like, this is demonic. I need help. I need a priest. Like, someone get me a priest. So her mother finally listens to her, and she's all like, okay. And she calls this man named Father Renz, and he comes down, and he's all like, okay, well, before we can do an exorcism, I need permission from the Catholic Church. In order to get permission from the Catholic Church, I need to make sure that this isn't anything like that's an actual physical illness, and that it's not like a mental illness or anything like that. Like, this is actually something supernatural. So the family's all like, okay, all right, fine. So they go out, and they go all of these different doctors. Like, this priest is sending them to all of, like, tons and tons and tons. I need to get my battery thing. Hold on. Sorry, my laptop was about to die, so I had to get my charger. But anyway, back to the story. So they're going to all these different medical professionals, and all the medical professionals are saying this, like, it drives me crazy, because, like, in the case after Annaliese died, they retracted these statements because, you know, they didn't want to get their licenses revoked, or, like, you know, they didn't want to get in trouble, which everyone else did, because, like, they couldn't own up and say that, you know, yeah, it was something really weird. Like, from the view of a medical professional, that did look really weird. Like, that wasn't something we'd seen before. Like, it looked like it was demonic possession. So it just irritates me that they couldn't be honest, because, like, these priests and, like, her family after she died got into so much trouble because, you know, it looked like negligence, because off topic. But so they were going to these doctors, and the doctors were all like, you know, like, this isn't a medical thing, this is a supernatural thing. Cue Dean Winchester. I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have made that reference. I shouldn't. This isn't Tumblr from 2014. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so oh, I hate myself. Anyway, so basically, the Catholic Church for a while didn't give them permission, which is important, because if you get permission from the Catholic Church, basically, like, the power of Christ is put into that exorcism. Like, you know, the Catholic Church is okaying it. They say, okay, go. And they give you the power of Christ and stuff like that. And that's why it's so important to get permission from the Catholic Church. But since the Catholic Church wasn't giving them permission at this point, Father Rince was all like, okay, so let's do, like, a trial exorcism, and let's just see how she reacts to it, you know, because it couldn't hurt. And, like, a trial exorcism is exactly what it sounds like, I guess. Like, just, like, a basic, like, thing that he did to, like, not aggravate it, but, like, you know, see how she reacted. I don't know. So they're sitting there. And the way she reacted, first of all, he reached out with his mind, is what he did. He reached out with his mind, and he said to these demons, like, let this girl go. Like, by the power of God, I'm telling you to let this girl go. And almost immediately, these demons reacted to this, and people are moving outside my door, and it makes me uncomfortable. Immediately, these demons, like, responded to it, and Annaliese reached out, and she ripped the rosary from off of his throat, which, you know, in, like, Christianity and, like, Catholicism, you know, like, that's a fucked up thing, because, like, rosaries are very sacred. And so immediately, like, he was all like, okay, this is something demonic. Like, first of all, how did she, like, if it was just Annaliese, like, Annaliese couldn't have even known that he was, like, reaching out towards her, because he wasn't doing anything. He was, like, you know, because it was in his mind. Like, he hadn't said anything out loud. He hadn't said what he was doing. So it was these demons that were reacting, because they were the only ones that, like, could have known that that was what he was doing, unless if, you know, Annaliese was a mind reader, which I don't think she was. I'm sorry. So yeah, so at that point, he told this to the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church was all like, okay, that's fucked up. You have our permission to perform exorcisms. And so at that point, they were performing, like, 2 exorcisms, I think, a week for about a year. Which, when you think about it, if you had that many exorcisms performed on you, side note, but that would fuck anyone up. Like, that's traumatic in itself. So even if she wasn't possessed, like, bitch, that's fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. And I'm not saying that, like, that's any fault of, like, the priest or, like, the parents. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a very fucked up situation, but they were doing everything they could to rid her of, like, these demons. And so I think, yeah, so the Catholic Church sends this other priest to help with Rince, and his name was Father Alt, and it's where things go downhill very quick. And, like, after, like, the trial exorcism, a side note, but, like, she was no longer able to pray. Like, after that, she, like, increasingly became more, like, violent and stuff like that. Like, whew. So anyway, so Father Alt comes out. and they are doing these exorcisms. And the very first exorcism I think they did, which you can find the audio for on YouTube, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you can find it, but you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. But you're going to anyway, because, you know, we're dumbasses here. Dumbasses on Maine. So, they're doing this exorcism, and almost immediately they're provoking these spirits. And the spirits start, you know, responding. And the priests are asking them, like, what's your names? Like, you know, tell us who you are. And so, it freaks me out so much. Because I can hear it in the back of my, like, I can hear the audio clip, and I don't love it. Anyway, so they found out that there was basically 6 demons that were possessing Annaliese. I'm not going to say the names. You can look up the names. You can look it up, bruh. But I'm not telling the names because I believe there are power in names, and I just don't want that in my life. So I'm not gonna list them. I'm not gonna say it. You can look it up. I don't think there's any harm in reading the names, like, but just saying it out loud is just not something I want to do. So, especially after reading this case. So, feel free to look it up. And when they were performing these exorcisms, Annaliese would be saying that, like, she could see the demons dancing around the room, like, taunting the priests as, like, you know, they were doing the exorcism, and, like, it was all very, like, fucked up and messed, like, the things this girl, like, endured are just horrifying. Like, no human being should have to go through that, but, like, she did, and it's just messed up. So, this next part is the most interesting, like, weird. Like, a lot of people who do stories on, like, you know, this case don't bring up this. I don't know. But basically, so she had become increasingly, like, it was to the point where, like, she was literally drinking her own urine. Like, she was fragile, she was starved, she was, like, I think 60 pounds or something, because she was starving herself. She was bruised, she had broken bones, like, she'd scratch walls until, like, her fingernails would bleed. She would, like, make inhuman noises, she'd be growling, she'd, like, you know, she was messed up, like, and she'd drink her own pee. Like, literally, I can't get over that. And she, like, her own vomit, and, like, and she'd eat bugs, and, like, you know, I know we all watched The Lion King when we were children, and at least me, I don't know, because I'm weird, when Timon and Pumbaa are, like, eating the bugs, I was all like, oh, that looks yummy, and I think, like, the next day I went out and ate a ladybug, but then, like, it was gross, and I never did it again. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but, like, just the image of her eating bugs and stuff is just not great. Not great. It's not great. If she wants to, you know, I'm not going to make that joke. I'm not going to make that joke. I'm a terrible person. So, like, that's the point she was at. Like, she was severely ill. And one day, like, she couldn't walk on her own, and she couldn't support her own weight, but her and her boyfriend, Peter, which, again, Peter, the real MVP, hanging in there, they went out for a walk. And suddenly, when they were out on this walk, she said she could feel Mother Mary walking next to her. Like, Mother Mary spoke to her, and suddenly, when she felt that presence, all of a sudden, all the pain she had felt, everything that had happened to her for, like, the past, you know, couple years of her life just, like, vanished, and she was, like, fine, and she was able to walk on her own. And Mother Mary basically came and said to her, like, you can keep enduring this pain. Basically, she can keep enduring this pain and, like, go through this for the sins of, like, everyone else, so no one else will, like, their souls won't be condemned to hell. Which sounds very Jesus-y to me. I don't know. Anyway, so she was saying this, like, if she was going to go through this, she'd be sacrificing, like, her own life. She'd be, like, a martyr, you know, like, you know, going through this, but, like, you know, in exchange for, like, that and her pain, like, she would, you know, basically save everyone else. And Mother Mary gave her 3 days of peace. She said, okay, I'll give you 3 days. In these 3 days, like, you won't feel anything, but by the 3rd day, you have to make a decision. And so it was true, like, during these 3 days, like, and Peter was there to witness this. Like, he said that it was true, and, like, her parents said it was true. Like, for suddenly these 3 days, like, Annaliese was fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with her. And it was like she was normal again. And so, yeah. And so Annaliese basically said, well, I would rather, like, condemn myself than, like, you know, hurt other people, you know, like, like, she was very brave, and, like, she took on that burden, and she said, okay, like, I'll do this, I'll save everyone else, but, like, I guess trade herself for, like, the lives of others, which is very brave. And wow, I wouldn't be able to do that because I'm a selfish bitch. I'm a selfish bitch. I'm a Slytherin. I have self-preservation engraved into my heart. What do you expect? I'm not a hero. I'm a bitch. So there was a set day that, like, the demons were supposed to leave, and on this 3rd day, I think they did another exorcism, and basically, like, what happened was, like, the demons were speaking again, and that day they were supposed to leave, but when they were talking, they were saying, we want to leave, but we can't, which is a really weird thing to say. And so the fathers were all like, well, that's weird, like, you know, like, are we doing something wrong? And there's speculation that, like, they couldn't leave because maybe Mother Mary trapped them inside of Annaliese. I don't know, because I don't know. So yeah, that's the speculation, that the day they were saying we want to leave but we can't, and they didn't. They stayed in Annaliese, and after that, I think the activity kind of grew, like, less severe, but, like, she was still, like, you know, sick. She was really sick. And Annaliese kept saying that, I think on July 1st of 1996, like, everything was going to change, and sure enough it did, because she died. So yeah, on July 1st of 1996, Annaliese passed away. The official, like, diagnosis of, like, what she died from was she was starved and malnourished, because, you know, she wasn't eating during this entire time. She was eating, she wasn't drinking, like, she was very, you know, skinny, like, she was, like, 60 pounds or something at the time of her death, and which is really bad, obviously. But yeah, and after that, her mother still says that she experiences demonic activity in the household, but, like, not as bad as when Annaliese was alive. And, like, that presence is always still with them, and they can't really get rid of it. Like, when they made the movie for it, like, oh gosh, the Exorcism of Emily Rose, like, her mother, like, refused to see it. Like, all of them, like, said that, like, nothing that Hollywood came up with could ever compare to what they went through. And it's true. Like, if you watch the Exorcist, I keep wanting to say The Conjuring because I'm dumb, but if you watch the Exorcism of Emily Rose, like, none of it compares to, like, the actual story and, like, the transcripts and, like, the audio. Like, all of it is so fucked up. Like, and it's just one case, like, where actual, like, real life events, like, just are more terrifying than, like, what is fake, which is what makes this, like, so terrifying, because it's real. Like, I know a lot of people don't believe it, but, like, in my experience with, like, supernatural stuff, like, there's dark things out there, but, like, there's also light things, like, it's just, there's bad things out there, basically. And, you know, it sounds spectacular and, like, hard to believe, but, like, I feel like it's true. Which is why I'm not gonna fucking sleep tonight, because I'm a dumbass. So, after Annaliese's death, basically, the parents and the father were all taken to court. Father Alt and Father Renz. I gotta go because my grandma's here, but I'm gonna try to finish this really quickly. Speed round, go! So basically, they were charged with negligence and, like I can't say it. They were charged with homicide, but, like, of being neglectful. I just can't say yeah. So they were charged with those charges again. The medical professionals never owned up to what they did, like what they said, I guess, and they were sentenced to like I think 6 months in jail and like a bunch of charges. And it's just fucked up, and like all of this got put on to like, you know, the priest and the parents because it looked like she had been abused. Like that's literally what it looked like. But I think everyone knows something demonic, like something definitely messed up happened. And that's what I'm going with. That's the story. That's the tea. And I just I'm just so fucked up thinking about it right now because like it's a messed up story. And I just hope that all of you just carry light in your heart, like not necessarily like believing in God, like because I know everyone has different beliefs and I have a different belief system. Like fill your hearts with like love and like light, and like that's all I can say. That's fucking all I can say on that. Ugh. This was hard. I need I can't say drink because I'm like 18. But you know. I'm gonna go kill myself now. Bye. Like this if you did. Or dislike it. Subscribe, please. Join the haunted house party. I'm sorry I'm a mess, but yeah. I gotta go say hi to my grandma now because I love my grandma. We all have shirts on, Dad.
Oh.
What? Oh no.
What?
Grandma, say subscribe, please.
Subscribe, please.
There you have it.